My name is Dan Butler. I'm a professor at WashU, and I am the Poli-Sci Grid Guide. In 2020, COVID shut down the world. Businesses were closed, schools were online, public gatherings were simply canceled. To fight the pandemic, the government launched Operation Warp Speed, a partnership with private companies to create a vaccine faster than ever before. Normally, vaccines take 10 years or more to get developed. But this time, companies were allowed to do several of the steps at the same time, and they were given emergency use authorization, which allowed them to start giving the vaccine before it had completed every step of the process. The first vaccines came out in December 2020, and by spring 21, they were widely available. This set a record. Previously, the fastest vaccine that had been created was for mumps, and that took 4 years to develop. This took less than a year. By fall of 2021, the Biden administration announced vaccine mandates. Federal employees and members of the military had to be vaccinated or lose their jobs. The federal government also tried to require that large employers either make their employees get the shot or that they be tested weekly. Proponents made several arguments in favor of the mandates. First, some people could not safely get the shots because of their own high-risk health issues. If enough other people got the shot, the country could reach herd immunity. The idea that if enough people were protected, COVID wouldn't be able to spread. Second, the vaccine mandate could protect the economy because if enough people got sick with COVID, some businesses might have to shut down. However, many opposed the vaccine mandates and they challenged them in court. Some worried that the vaccine might not be safe, either because they distrusted vaccines in general or because they thought the speed at which this vaccine was approved meant that it was unproven. Others argued that mandates violated individual rights. The COVID vaccine mandates are an example of a policy that is intended to protect the public as a whole, but that comes at a cost to individual rights. In January 2022, the Supreme Court ruled on the mandates. It said that the federal government could require healthcare workers in Medicare and Medicaid facilities to get vaccinated, but it could not require large private businesses to do so. In other words, the court acted as the referee, deciding how far the government could go in limiting individual freedom for the sake of public health. How should we balance individual freedoms with public safety in an emergency? Should the Supreme Court be the one that makes that call?